Hello and welcome to the midday news on VOP TV. First, the headlines. Joint Senate Committee begins interaction with CBN Governor. NLC TUC issue 14-day strike notice. Tinubu orders recitation of national pledge at public engagements. Now the news in detail. Moses Humphrey. We'll begin with the update on the Joint Senate Committee on Finance, Banking, Insurance and Financial Institutions. The committee has commenced an interactive session with the economic management team, including officials of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, led by the Governor, Yemi Cardoso. The committee had invited Cardoso to appear before it amidst pressing concerns about the state of the economy and the sharp decline of the Naira in the foreign exchange market. At the official window, the Naira is experiencing a free fall to an all-time low as it hits a new low of 1,520 Naira to a dollar on Wednesday. The Red Chamber is seeking answers and solutions from the Apex Bank governor to stabilize the currency and restore confidence in the economy. VOP TV will give you an update on the interactive session in our subsequent bulletins. And still in the Senate, the Nigerian Senate has asked the federal government to forward to it details of the award and disbursement of over 100 billion naira to companies engaged in the handling of the presidential compressed natural gas PCNG projects within 7 days. The Senate Committee on Gas made the demand in a letter written to the Minister of Finance, who is also the coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, asking him to provide the documents within 7 days. The chairman of the committee, Senator Jarigbe Agom, specifically asked the minister to forward to the committee comprehensive records of the award and disbursement of over 100 billion naira and list of companies engaged in the handling of the project. The request was coming on the heels of a fresh plan by the PCNG to release another 130 billion naira to an unspecified number of companies. The committee noted that the federal government ignored an earlier warning by the Gas Committee that spending taxpayers' money on the gas infrastructure development projects without National Assembly approval would amount to extra budgetary expenditure and gross violation of the Public Procurement Act 2017. Meanwhile, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, reiterated its commitment to maintaining stable petrol prices in the market, assuring the public that there are no immediate plans to increase the cost of premium motor spirit, PMS, popularly known as petrol. In a press statement, the NNPCL spokesperson urged motorists to refrain from panic buying, emphasizing the abundant availability of PMS across the country. The reassurance comes amidst concerns over potential price hikes and aims to alleviate consumer anxieties while ensuring consistent access to fuel nationwide. The statement from NNPCL serves to quell rumors and provide clarity regarding the pricing of PMS, emphasizing the company's proactive stance in managing fuel supply and pricing dynamics. By reaffirming its commitment to price stability, NNPCL seeks to instill confidence in consumers and mitigate the impact of speculative behaviors on fuel markets. Moving forward, the company remains focused on ensuring adequate fuel supply and fostering a stable pricing environment to support economic activities and ease consumer burden. The Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria have issued a 14-day strike notice to the federal government over the failure of the Bola Tinubu-led government to implement the agreements reached on October 2, 2023, following the removal of fuel subsidy on petrol. Leaders of the NLC and TUC are sad that despite organized labor's efforts to ensure industrial peace, the government seems unperturbed by the mass suffering and hardship across the country. The October 2 agreement was focused on addressing the massive suffering and the general harsh socio-economic consequences of the ill-conceived and ill-executed IMF World Bank-induced hike in the price of PMS and the devaluation of the naira. The Nigerian Union of Pensioners, NUP, says many members are dying due to hardship caused by the economic downturn. According to the union, the economic downturn has led to a high cost of living in the country. Mr. Godwin Abumisi, the national president of NUP, spoke on Thursday when he fielded questions from newsmen in Abuja. Abumisi said that the union has lost about 1,500 of its members in recent times due to economic hardship and the high cost of living in the country. He accused the government of not thinking about the poor people and wondered how a pensioner in Enugu State can survive on a pension of 450 naira monthly. The NUP president said that many members across the country were also still earning as little as 500 naira and 1,000 naira as monthly pensions, especially in the southeast states. He said they will call for a mass protest across the country, particularly in the capital city of Abuja, if their demands are not addressed by the federal government. Meanwhile, President Tinubu has approved the immediate release of 102,000 metric tons of rice and maize from the national food reserves in order to enhance the availability of food in the country. The president's directive comes days after a series of protests in some states against the high cost of food items. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, disclosed this in a chat with journalists at the State House following a meeting of the Special Presidential Committee on Emergency Food Intervention on Thursday. Idris also noted that the government has suggested importing any deficiencies that may arise after the distribution of the food items. The minister indicated that the government will take suitable actions against individuals stockpiling food. He emphasized that during emergencies, it is necessary to implement immediate actions to guarantee the availability to Nigerians. You're watching the news on VOP TV. More stories after the break. Welcome back. It's still VOP TV midday news. President Bola Tinubu has directed the mandatory recitation of the national pledge the national anthem at every official and public gathering. Tinubu, who spoke at the launching of the 3,112 housing units Renewed Hope City at Kasana, Abuja, says the imperativeness of respecting national values, promoting the nation's ideals, and abiding by its established norms. He also called on Nigerians to uphold the country's glory, saying they should have absolute respect for national symbols. The president added that his administration did not say that it will be El Dorado and smooth all the way, but he is confident that this country will excel in all ramifications. To security matters now, a group of farmers in Oriri local government area of Oyo State on Thursday staged a peaceful protest and begged both the state government and the Shon of Ogbomoso land, Oba Gandhi Olaoye, to come to their aid over incessant attacks on their farms by alleged herders. The farmers who staged the protest at the palace of the Shon of Ogbomoso appealed to the traditional ruler and other stakeholders to save them from the attacks on their farms. The protesters, who spoke through Aremu Ogundare, explained that the protesters came from 3 different villages in the local government area, namely Kedo Arigbeyo, Kedo Salami, and Mosumaje. Ogundare, who doubled as the head of Kedo Arigbeye, lamented that they had to come to the palace to solicit the assistance of the government and Monac because the alleged headsmen persisted in their destructive activities. They therefore called for the government's intervention so that lives and properties would be secured in the country. 14 travelers abducted by gunmen in Kogi State on Saturday, February 3, have been freed. The news was confirmed by Kogi State Police Public Relations Officer SP William Oye on Thursday evening. The abduction occurred on the Abuja-bound buses near Inele Teke in Olalamaboro local government area. Armed bandits had hijacked the vehicles and whisked away 14 passengers, 12 from God is Good Motors and 2 from ABC. The abductors subsequently contacted the families, demanding a ransom of 15 million naira for their release. It remains unclear whether any payment was made before the hostages were freed. Or kidnappers and gun runners responsible for terrorizing different states have been neutralized by officers of the Nigeria Police Force. The Force Public Relations Officer, ASP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, disclosed this in a statement today. The statement read, "The FIDIRT of the Nigeria Police Force has recorded yet another feat in the ongoing fight against crime and criminality in the country, as part of the sustained efforts to cleanse the system of criminals, most especially kidnappers. In the early hours of February 8, 2024, some notorious kidnappers and gun runners who have been terrorizing Abuja, Kaduna, Kogi, and Nasarawa states were neutralized by IRT operatives at their hideout around Gitaya along Kefi Gidan Wire Road, Nasarawa State. Well, similarly, 4 AK-47 rifles, weapons, and a bag of ammunition were recovered. Adejobi therefore says that the Nigerian police force will maintain adequate security in the country. Moving on from security matters to road safety, where motorists plying the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway have called on the federal government to extend installation of streetlights on the expressway from the Long Bridge area of the bridge. They made this call while also commending the federal government on putting streetlights on that section of the expressway. Well, VOP TV gathered that the ongoing installation of streetlights along the Kara-Warewa stretch of the Long Bridge observed that some streetlights had been installed within a stretch. At the same time, the installation was ongoing from the Long Bridge axis inward Kara. Some motorists noted that the street lights would help reduce cases of insecurity along the expressway, and that the installation of street light facilities would curb incessant attacks by miscreants on the highway and help to reduce insecurity on the highway to the barest. You're watching the news on VOP TV. We'll be back with more stories. Well, the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, has reiterated its commitment to maintaining the momentum of the Operation Zero Potholes and Connect to Your Destination campaigns, both launched in December 2023. Now, these initiatives were designed to eliminate potholes on the nation's federal and state highways, while also reconnecting isolated communities affected by deteriorating road conditions. The Managing Director of FEMA, Engineer Emeka Agbasi, affirmed this commitment at the conclusion of a 3-day inspection of recently rehabilitated roads, including the Port Harcourt, Osiokpo, Elele, Omerelu, Imo State Border Road, Mbiama Junction section of the East-West Road, Opolo, Elebele, Emayal Road in Rivers and Bayelsa, and the Etiabak Road in Akwa Ibom State. Represented by the Director of Roads Maintenance and Management Services at FEMA headquarters in Abuja, Engineer Dr. Inyobongusoro, the FEMA MD expressed optimism that the campaigns would contribute to making poor road conditions a thing of the past in Nigeria. Commenting specifically at the Etiabak Road, Engineer Festus Okafo, FEMA's Federal Road Maintenance Engineer in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, highlighted the transformative impact of the agency's intervention. He noted that prior to FEMA's involvement, the road's deterioration had severely hampered economic activities in the affected areas. Niger State explores measures to address food inflation by proposing the establishment of a price control board aimed at regulating food prices and essential commodities. The bill, which passed its first reading, seeks to mitigate the impact of rising food prices, exacerbated by factors such as insecurity and climate change. Sponsored by Isa Etsugai, the proposed price control board would monitor price fluctuations, oversee distribution methods, and analyze economic factors influencing pricing dynamics in the state. The legislative initiative reflects Niger State's proactive approach to addressing socioeconomic challenges and ensuring consumer welfare amid inflationary pressures. By instituting a price control board, policymakers aim to stabilize food prices, promote affordability, and safeguard consumer interests. Additionally, the proposed board underscores the government's commitment to proactive governance and responsive policy measures to address evolving economic realities and enhance food security for residents of Niger State. In other news, the Bauchi State Police Command has declared 63-year-old Islamic cleric Imam Idris Abdulaziz wanted. Imam Abdulaziz is wanted by the police for contempt of court. The Bauchi police has issued a special police gazette bulletin stating that a handsome reward will be given to anyone with information leading to his arrest. The gazette provides details of his description, and the police are urging members of the public to report to the nearest police station if he is seen, or to hand him over to the office of the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Criminal Investigation Department, Bauchi State Command. Imam Abdulaziz has been on trial for alleged blasphemy in his preaching since 2022. It has been reported that the cleric is facing fresh charges filed by the Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice in the state and the police for inciting disturbances, insulting or inciting contempt of religious creed at the Chief Magistrate Court. Well, it's still the VOP news at midday. More stories after this short break. Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. In business now, the International Air Transport Association, IATA, a Geneva-based trade association representing global airlines, has voiced apprehensions regarding potential financial losses for foreign airlines operating in Nigeria. The concern is from the estimated $200 million at risk due to exchange rate depreciation. Kamil Al-Awadi, IATA's regional vice president for Africa and the Middle East, emphasized the aggravation of the issue of trapped funds. He attributed his exacerbation to the significant depreciation of the naira against the dollar. Al-Adwahi discussed these concerns in an exclusive interview with CNBC as reported by our correspondent. The backdrop of the discussion is the reported entanglement of over $700 million in foreign airlines ticket revenue within Nigeria. And despite the Central Bank of Nigeria's recent statement claiming settlement of all verified debts owed to foreign airlines, IATA swiftly responded, asserting that foreign carriers operating in Nigeria still grapple with over $700 million in trapped funds. Now let's move into sports. In sports, Chippa United, a prominent team in the South Africa Premier Soccer League, PSL, has affirmed its unwavering support for Stanley Nwabali ahead of the AFCON 2023 final against Côte d'Ivoire this Sunday. Nwabali played a pivotal role as the hero of the Super Eagles, showcasing remarkable goalkeeping skills and making two crucial saves during the penalty shootout in the semi-final clash against South Africa on Wednesday. The Super Eagles emerged victorious with a 4-2 scoreline in the shootout, following a 1-1 draw after 120 minutes of intense football, ultimately earning Nwabali the well-deserved man of the match accolade. In a heartfelt display of solidarity, Siviwe Mpengesi, the chairman of Chippa United, released a statement commending Nwabali for his outstanding performance in goal against South Africa. Mpengesi praised the Nigerian goalkeeper, who is the first choice for the Super Eagles, for not only reaching the AFCON finals, but also for exemplifying himself as a commendable ambassador for Chippa United. In the official statement shared on Chippa United's official platform, Chairman Siviwe Mpengesi conveyed the club's congratulations to Stanley Nwabali, acknowledging his extraordinary achievements in reaching the AFCON final and securing the Man of the Match award. In the lead-up to the highly anticipated final showdown against the Elephants of Côte d'Ivoire, Zaidou Sanusi underwent separate training sessions as the Super Eagles commenced their preparations. The FC Porto defender, who missed the semi-final victory against South Africa's Bafana Bafana due to an injury, was conspicuously absent from the collective training sessions. In the absence of Sanusi, Bright Osayi Samuel took up the mantle, stepping into the starting lineup for the crucial match. Now, when queried about Sanusi's potential availability for the upcoming game, head coach Josip Acero refrained from providing a definitive assurance during his media interaction. Acero remarked and quoted as saying that, "I don't know if Sanusi, can recover. I hope he can recover for the next match, but he's out now because of injury. He didn't do any practice these last few days." Well, the 26-year-old defender, who's been a key figure in the Super Eagles campaign at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations, has featured in 5 games thus far as the team gears up for the final clash. The uncertainty surrounding Sanusi's recovery adds an element of intrigue to the Super Eagles' defensive lineup. And that's all the news we have for you at this hour. But before we go, a recap of our top stories. Joint Senate Committee begins interaction with CBN Governor Cardoso. NLC-TUC issue 14-day strike notice. Tinubu orders recitation of national pledge at public engagement. Well, thanks for watching. I'm Moses Humphrey. Good afternoon.